Australia. Thanks so much for giving me the opportunity to do this video audition for this wonderful adventure with Dr. Hawass and Nigel Hetherington. As you can see by my smile lines, I'm a little bit older than your normal university student, but we all know that age has its many merits as well. You've asked me to educate you about what I know about Egyptology. I find it highly unlikely that I'll be able to educate you about anything, given the immense knowledge that Dr. Hawass and Nigel Hetherington hold. But let's talk about my favourite subject, ancient Egyptian religion. About 3,500 BC, we found our first evidence of religious practice by way of royal seals and labels on wine jars. Then, 500 years later, we find lots more. There's an abundance due to the advent of hieroglyphic, and more evidence arises. Move down the timeline a little bit more to about 2650 BC, and the pyramid constructions commence. The pyramids were ancient structures dedicated to the gods. They brought the pharaoh closer to the heavens. It was abundant that Egyptian religion was practiced by the royals and upper class of society at that time. Unfortunately, we don't know much about religious beliefs of the common man. That's because they didn't have enough money to build these marvellous structures in favour of the gods. What we can tell is that the pharaoh was considered the divine king. In other words, he was an immortal, present on earth. Now, moving forward another 500 years later, we're now at about 2150 BC, there's prolific evidence that religion was spreading throughout the nomes and the centralised provinces. There's different gods in different places. The Egyptians adopted their gods in accordance with their creation story, similar to like the ancient Greeks did with Zeus, etc. For the Egyptians, we had Horus. He was a symbol of divine kingship. And we also had Osiris, lord of the underworld, who took care of everybody when they went down there, because it was only the pharaohs that went up to the sky. We now have rock-cut tombs and mastabas with wonderful depictions and reliefs, through which we learn about more gods that related to provinces and nomes around Egypt. Ra, who was the creator sun god of Heliopolis. Ptah, the creator god of Memphis, who was thought to have fashioned men with his hands. There's lots more about gods that I could tell you, but you'll need to stay tuned for more. Unfortunately, I've never met Dr. Hawass, although he seems strangely familiar to me due to the enormous amount of documentaries that he's produced to tell us more about Egyptology and the discoveries that happen over there. I know he's the Secretary General of the Supreme Council of Antiquities, a very important position. I know he works alongside the Egyptologists from my university that go on their dig seasons every year. You also wanted to know why I want to go to Egypt. I've been yearning for years to go to Egypt. I want to smell the smells, take in the air, experience the culture and the people. I want to stand amidst that spectacular architecture, reliefs and depictions that I've studied from afar for so long. I want to brush away earth from artefacts that I've never seen. I want to stand in a tomb and read hieroglyphics that I've studied to date on paper. In summary, I'd like to quote Dr. Hawass. For me, archaeology is not just a job. It combines everything that I could want: imagination, intellect, action and adventure. Hope to be seeing you real soon. Thanks.